I will share Abdullah. I will share the screen to show you some samples of different ages, Now, now this lady, girl baby, her age was 6 months when this photo was taken. On the 5th to 10th of October 2020, there was a webinar, international webinar. And at that time, this baby girl was attending, was sitting in the place where her parents were attending a webinar. So she started crying just to attract her parents' attention to her. Her father put his laptop in front of her and continued attending the webinar with his wife. And the baby, 6 months age, continued looking at her parents and look at the screen which is in front of her, and continued until the end of the session. And during that, her parents took these photos for her. Of course, somebody say, does she know about anything going around her? Of course, she doesn't know. But she wanted to attract her parents' attention to her, and this is what happened to her. Now, at the end of the webinar, let us see what Dr. Hemlata said about her, about that baby.
You invite, Wasef, you invite the team members one by one. You invite the team members. Dr. Wasef?
Yes, madam. Okay, here.
Yes. Number one is Jumana.
Here.
Yes. So
yes, madam. Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Yeah.
Yes, sure. Okay. No, ما هي ليتر نشوفها بعدين. نطلع من الشمس. نطلع من الشمس.
Yes.
Okay. And now, this is the first sample of in our the discussion today. That is the lifelong learning. Of course, there are two samples. Afterwards, I will show them to you. Now we go to now we'll listen to another example of lifelong learning. Is a very active, hardworking lady who didn't get her chance to continue her higher education and got it after retirement. She is Mrs. Jumana Alnassan. Mrs. Jumana, now I'll just introduce her to you. Mrs. Jumana, BSc in nursing, worked as a registered nurse in the Ministry of Health, Jordan, for 27 years. Now she is retired and preparing herself for voluntary works. She participated in many medical activities for helping poor people. She delivered many voluntary health lectures at the schools, in addition to giving many health courses at the hospital. Now, Madam Jumana, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Wasef. Thank you, Dr. Hemlata. It's my pleasure to be with you today. زين هيك صح؟ ما طلعت معي شير سكرين. فتحت الباوربوينت. طيب هيني فاتحة الموضوع. مش طالع معي شير. ما في. Just wait a minute. I have technical problem here.
Okay. If it doesn't work, you can read from on the paper if you have the paper with you.
I don't have the paper. زين. شيري من عندك. Okay. My experience in lifelong learning. Good afternoon, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to be with you today. Before I start my presentation today, I'd like to thank all respected scholars who are Hemlata, the founder of this pure
Madam, you didn't share. The slides are not sharing. You are reading from the paper?
Yes, I read from the paper.
Okay, from the paper, not from the slides. Are you reading from the slides?
Zain will share the data with me.
Okay. Because now it is shared. Okay. Yes, madam. Now it is shared.
Yes. Many thanks to Dr. Professor Hemlata, the founder of this pure academic group, for giving me this opportunity to present my paper here. Many thanks to all the attendants for being with me in this presentation. I am Jumana from Jordan, 50 years old, newly retired from Jordanian Ministry of Health. I have worked as a registered nurse. When Dr. Wasef asked me to join to share in this meeting, I talked about lifelong learning. I was shocked. Why will I be able to talk about it? For me, this is the first time I'll talk about different topic other than my specialization, which is not related to my study or my work. Lifelong learning is an ongoing, voluntary, and self-motivated. It is not limited to classroom or formal education. Lifelong learning isn't just a personal growth strategy, it's an investment in the person's self for future-proof of career. As technology and industries by continuous learning and open a new doors for new opportunities. The benefit of lifelong learning. There are many benefits of lifelong learning. I mentioned the following: to stay competitive in job, improve problem solving skills, improve self-confidence, improve mental health. The way to enhance lifelong learning are the following: attend classes and workshops, read books and articles, utilize online resources, watch documentary and educational videos, travel and explore new cultures. When I talk about lifelong learning, I read a Prophet Muhammad tradition, peace be upon him, about this when he said, الحكمة ضالة المؤمن فأينما وجدها فهو أحق بها. Wisdom is the lost property of the true believer. So, wherever he finds it, he has the right to claim it. Attributed to Imam Tirmidhi. قال تعالى وقل ربي زدني علما. My Lord, increase my knowledge. It said, The seeking knowledge is from cradle to the grave. طلب العلم من المهد إلى اللحد. Because of that, everyone should look for continuous learning, especially in the era of modern technology. For example, learning how to use smartphone, laptop, computer, and smart TV. When I was at school, my dream to study English language. I finished school, submitted my paper to join university. At that time, I forgot to submit an important paper with the application, which made me lose the chance. My family suggested for me to study nursing in order not to lose a year without studying. I joined the nursing college where I studied for 4 years and graduated BCS degree. I graduated from the College of Nursing and worked as a registered nurse in the pediatric hospital, where I was creative in this profession. After retirement, I decided to fulfill my dream and study English language and start taking English course. I'd like to thank Dr. Wasef for encouragement, support, and increase my self-confidence, which enabled me to go ahead in my study on the way of success in my life. Now I am feeling that I am in the right way to achieve my dream by continuing my study in English language and get BA degree in English language and literature from the university. At the end of my presentation, I'd like to thank Dr. Wasef for guiding me in this learning of English language and encouraging me to achieve my dream. I'd like to thank Professor Dr. Hemlata for giving me this chance to express my feeling of success in achieving my dream. Hope to imitate her success in her educational life. Many thanks to all the dignitaries who gave me some of their precious time by attending and listening to my presentation. Hope to meet them again and again in the new future in a new topic. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Very kind of a good and informative presentation. So I prefer to keep the questions till the end of after the presentation. So till the end of the lecture, we give the questions and open the time for the shooting the questions. Thank you very much, madam. Another example of lifelong learning is a very active, hardworking lady who didn't get the chance. Now we listen to an experience of lifelong learning from a very active and hardworking lecturer in her university who loves her students and always encourages them to seek knowledge from all resources. Now we'll be with Madam Noor Marashdeh. Now I'll introduce Madam Noor to you. Noor Marashdeh, MA in Applied Linguistics. Okay. In Applied Linguistics from University of Malaysia, UPM, has been actively involved in teaching English language skills courses at Arab Open University Riyadh branch in Saudi Arabia since 2016. Beyond teaching, she served as an academic coordinator for intensive courses department at AOU from 2016 to 2021. She has participated in many webinars and workshops inside Saudi Arabia and abroad, focusing on various aspects of teaching and learning English language. She consistently updates her teaching methodologies for incorporating the latest trends and innovations in language education. Her interests are to encourage her students to with effective language skills and cultivate an enriching learning environment. She is interested in cultures interaction, helping all people improving handicaps education and supporting women education. Now, over to you, Madam. Over to you. Now, platform is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Wasif. Thank you, everyone, for attending today. My name is Noor, and before I start, I would like to extend my thanks to Dr. Hemlata, the organizer for this, the impact of autonomous learning on the long life or lifelong learning. So let's start with the definition of the lifelong learning. Uh, Let me see this. So as you know that in today's phase, we face this word, the concept of learning, which has extended and evolved significantly. So one of the most transferable trends there is of autonomous learning, where the students they can learn, or everybody can learn by himself, not only going to school or college. So where the individuals, of course, they can take this chance to educate themselves by their own way. So, beside the traditional academic settings. So this shift not only enhanced the immediate knowledge acquisition, but also it forced the long life learning, continue process of the skill development and knowledge expansion throughout one's life. Here, I will just give a small, let's say, the difference between these two types of learning. The autonomous learning, where it is empowered the individuals to pursue the knowledge according to their interests, pace, and performance. So the individuals, they can choose their own way, their style, while they are learning. Unlike the structured classrooms or environment, which the learners, they have somehow the flexibility to choose when, where, and how. But this self, let's say, directed approach can have the sense of ownership, the responsibility for one's learning outcomes, the critical traits in the lifelong learners. So as you can see, the difference between the two ways that somehow in the structured classrooms, students are somehow, they are controlled by the material, by the time, the place, whereas the autonomous learning, it is more flexible, more dynamic for them. So how the autonomous learning promotes the critical thinking? For example, when I say it promotes the critical thinking and problem solving skills, where the individuals, they can actively seek for information, resources, they can encounter challenges that require independence, analysis, and decision making. So they will try, even, it's not a matter of that just they try to learn, but also this process, it will prepare the learners to adapt their situation, fundamental, let's say, aspects of learning concepts. And also, what about the autonomous learning through the digital platforms and online resources? As you know, with this AI revolutions, the information through the digital platforms and online sources, they have appeared nowadays, and every day, as you know, we discover a new thing. We find out through the internet a lot of resources that provide for individuals how to like acquire new languages, learn new languages, or learn new knowledge in general, and experience things that we couldn't do it before or learn it before, because we do not have like enough sources for that. So these opportunities somehow, let's say, transcend the geographical borders, and somehow it will enable our learning, the lifelong learners, to stay updated to the field of their interests. Now, what is the importance of autonomous learning? Of course, as this, let's say, the long life learning, it has a nurturing curiosity, adaptability, and it goes and it continues until growth. So by encouraging the individuals whatever the age is. Of course, to take the ownership of their educational journey, it is somehow mediate that they can learn process in a very, let's say, easy, flexible way. And also it gives them the chance to choose which is the area that they can find themselves there. Now, the significance of the significant benefits of autonomous, as my partner Jumana said, there are many benefits for this autonomous learning. The first one is the flexibility, of course, because unlike the traditional classrooms or settings when it's fixed, where we have like fixed schedules, tables, let's say autonomous learners, they can decide when and how they want to learn. For example, someone might to learn, let's say, language apps in their phones during the commit of the work. Sometimes we can find this piece, or we can find this area that we can learn, practice other things. We can improve our knowledge. We do some exercises. Somehow we try this app and that app. This, of course, will help us to improve our, let's say, knowledge. Okay. The second significant is the independence and self-motivation. And this is important, I believe, nowadays in this, nowadays with this, revolution, that when the individual choose, for example, to learn a language, they have their own goal. For example, they want to travel. Look, let's say I want to travel to Spain. So I'll try to use some apps which prepare or which provide for me some vocabulary that I need in my, let's say, daily life, because I want to travel there. Maybe I will go to let's say, continue my study. So I will choose other apps which provide enough knowledge about the things that I want to use it for educational purpose, for example, for the daily life purpose, for business purpose as well. So here it's not like a matter of education, let's say, platforms that it's only fixed that I should learn grammar, or I should learn, let's say, vocabulary, which they are ABC, let's say. No, I want just something for a trip. So I will pick something. So this, it depends on the person himself. And this will also add a skill for the learner, that to what extent he can depend on himself, motivate himself to learn. So this is, I believe that this is something also important as a benefit. Now, there are some theories about the autonomous learning. The first theory is self-determination theory, which is support the idea when the individuals, they have their own learning, they are more motivated and encouraged. And also the series suggests that motivation during something because it is personal rewarding and enjoyable. So it leads for better learning outcomes and deeper communicate with the online learning. So this theory, when the person determined the area that he's going to focus on, of course, he will focus more. He will not forget, especially with when we talk about something that he cares, because he directly go toward this aim. So for later, it will be more practical for them. Okay, the second theory is the cognitive theory. When this theory, such as, let's say, the constructionism, and emphasis that learning is an active process where the individuals, they can contrast their understanding, their knowledge through the experience and reflections. So for the autonomous language, let's say, learners actively engage with the language materials, experience in different strategies, and also it reflects their progress, thereby depending on, of course, their understanding, the proficiency over time. So let's say they can evaluate themselves in a way that whether they reach to the point or their goal, or they need more. So when they, let's say they draw their mind map in a way, what are the goals that they want to achieve, then they will try to, let's say, draw their language or let's say learning process. It will help them and it will be more effective. Now, autonomous learning and the cultural awareness. This is something interesting because, as you know, when we learn a language, actually we learn a culture. So language and culture, they are, let's say, interacted with each other. Exploring a language, let's say learners, they can learn about the customs, the traditions, the way they think, the way they behave, the way they greet, sometimes the way they dress, or let's say the whole culture. And this is something very nice that it open, let's say, opportunities for people to know about each other. Of course, these things were not before let's say the internet revolution, because we used to travel to another city, for example, or another country, to know what is happening there, how do they behave. But nowadays, you can learn or you can acquire these things. I'll give you like a very simple example. Like my daughters, because of these Korean trends, nowadays my daughters, they know about the Korean food. They know, they are interested. They know the names, even kimchi and the pickles and the sauce that they use. They know these things. I'm not sure that are going to travel to Korea one day, but actually now they know some issues about the other cultures. So this is something interesting for learners, of course, for any learner. And here we have an example about learning a language, a new language. So it is like an exciting journey for greeting. It has long life. And also, as you know, for academic people, they know this, that learning a new language, it extend the capacity of learning. It open your mind. When I try to add some new vocabularies, new names for things which are not in my, let's say, my mother language. So this is something also inspired for everyone, that it is something interesting, enjoyable when I write some new words in my notes, which are not, of course, in my, let's say, mother tongue, but it is also, it will add for me, and it will help, of course, for continuous education throughout life. So to conclude my topic, as we look to the future, the impact of autonomous learning on the lifelong learning will likely continue to expand. Of course, it will not stop. And, when this shift enhance the personal development, not only with just learning, but also for to contribute the more informed, interactive, adapted goals, knowledge, and of course, sometimes learning about other things by yourself. It will open for you more than one field, maybe business, maybe communication, maybe friends all over the world. Last but not least, so autonomous learning empower individuals to become long life learners. Of course, it gives them to be independence, critical thinking, adapting the ability to choose your approach, your way, your style of learning, acquire knowledge, and this is very nice. Also to develop your skills that they are necessary for the world changes, as much as we develop, as much as we learn, of course, as much as we live in a better life. At the end of my presentation, I would like to thank all the attendees who joined us, who joined to attend my presentation. My gratitude again to Dr. Hemlata, and also for Dr. Wasef, my teacher. He's the one who used to encourage me all the time not to stop. Always tell me, I'm telling you one example, short example, that when the first time for a webinar, he asked me to join. I told him, I don't know. I never have an international. How could I present in front of people overseas, let's say. He used to encourage me, do it for the first time. And now this is, I'm proud to say this is my fourth participation with the international webinar. So I would like to thank you very much, Dr. Wasef, for giving me this chance. Mike to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Noor, for your good ideas and the fruitful ideas that you gave here in your presentation. And now Hope, of course, hope we will meet again. Always we will be together, seeking knowledge together, always work together. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we go to another example in lifelong learning. Is a lady who started her education lately. She got her general secondary certificate many years ago, but she didn't continue her education because of her hard circumstances. But the idea of continuing her education remained in her mind. Now she returned to seek knowledge when her circumstances become better. I'd like to introduce to you Madame Nisreen Dalgamouni, a housewife. She left school immediately after she got her general secondary certificate. Because of her hard financial and social circumstances, she couldn't continue her education. She dreamt of studying at the university and graduate with a BA in English language. But she got married early and became a housewife. Since her young age, she became a mother and continued to follow her children and her house until her elder daughters graduate from the university. Now she has the time and financial support to join the university to achieve her aim of study. The idea, which remained 45 years in her mind, but she didn't forget it. During these years, she participated in many voluntary activities. She likes to help old people and to help children in orphanages. Now she is studying English language. She finished level number 1 and started level number 2. After that, she will be qualified to join the University College of Languages to study English language and literature. Now, platform is yours, Madam Nisreen. You can start your presentation. Madam Nisreen? Okay, you can start.
My experience in education. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nisreen Dalgamouni. I am from Jordan. In the beginning, I would like to thank Professor Dr. Hemlata Talesra for giving me the chance to present my experience in education. I got my secondary certificate long time ago, but I didn't get the chance to continue my education according to many circumstances till I became a grandmother. But the idea of continuing my education remained in my mind. 3 months ago, I visited Jiffy Center for Students Services here in Jordan, where I met Dr. Wasef, who received me there. After a long talk with him, I was convinced to start learning English language after leaving it many years. Now my daughters are graduated from the university, and now it is my turn to join the university. Really, I felt too much happy when I attended my first lecture with Dr. Wasef. I felt that I was born again with a new enthusiasm to study. But after finishing the first level of English language and with his encouraging to me, I liked learning too much. And when I finished the second level of English language, I decided to join the university to study English language and literature. Because I had the general secondary certificate, which enables me to join the university. Now I have time and money to support myself. Hope that after 4 years from now, I get my BA degree in English language and literature and achieve my dream by graduating from the university. Really, wherever there is determination, there is success. This assures that there isn't anything impossible in this life. Education is from birth to death. There isn't a limited age for learning. The person can learn anything in his life. Of course, it depends on his circumstances. Now I am following the instructions of my guide here, Dr. Wasef, in order to be a successful person like him and to follow the successful Dr. Hemlata Talesra in her successful educational life. These are my model in my educational life. At the end of my presentation, I like to thank all the dignitaries who gave me their precious time, who attended the presentation of my experience in education. Many thanks to Professor Hemlata Talesra for guiding this pure academic group, which gives the attendance and updated information in all fields of life. Many thanks to Dr. Seema Tyagi, the Secretary General of this pure academic group. Many thanks to my teacher, Dr. Wasef, who without him, I cannot be here. Many thanks to all the people and technicians who participated in organizing this lecture. Hope to meet you again and again to learn from your experiences in educational subjects. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Nisreen. Thank you. I'm too much happy to see that you, after finishing the first level of English 1, and you are in the middle of level 2, but be sure, continue, go ahead, and follow our teacher here, the Professor Hemlata. Since she is your model, so you will be one day, you will be something. Not like her, but the people who learned from her. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Good presentation. And ladies and gentlemen, now we give another example in lifelong learning. Will be presented by Madam Nisreen Zain Marashdeh, who will tell us about her experience life in learning. Although she is another employee, but he is a mother employee, but this didn't prevent her from continuing her education for more advanced certificates. Now I introduce to you Madam Zain Marashdeh. Zain Marashdeh, BA, Information Technology and Computing, graduated from Arab Open University, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. She participated in many national and international webinars, both in Jordan and abroad. Worked at Optimum Code as UI and UX designer and front-end developer. Now she is working as a computer science lecturer in IT department at Jiffy Center for Student Services. In addition to her work as an administrative assistant in the same center, she is always wanted to prove. She likes to prove creative and love to work with the teams. She participated in many volunteer works. Her interest in improving computer skills, supporting all people, societies, in addition to improving children language programs. Now, Madam Zain, over to you. The platform is yours. You can start.
Thank you for your representing Dr. Wasef Marashdeh. First of all, before I'm starting, I would thank to all representing scholars who are attending this lecture. Many thanks to Professor Dr. Hemlata Talesra, the founder of this pure academic group, for giving me the opportunity to present my paper here. I'm here today to present our paper for artificial intelligence and lifelong learning. Sorry, I didn't share. Okay. Story about artificial intelligence and lifelong learning strategies, challenges, and future directions. Our presentation workflows start by introduction, followed by methodology for lifelong learning. After that, challenges in lifelong learning, then future directions, and finally, conclusion. Lifelong learning in AI refers to the ability of a model to learn from new experiences and information over time without forgetting previously accurate knowledge. This is crucial for real-world applications where data and environments are constantly changing. Unlike traditional machine learning approaches, which often assume that data is static and fixed, lifelong learning embraces the idea that learning is an ongoing process, especially when we're talking about security and threat and detecting and removing for a threat for any security problem. Principles of lifelong learning. First one, incremental learning. Incremental learning means that ability to learn from new data without forgetting previous knowledge. Task adaptation, capability to adapt learning strategies for new tasks. And third, knowledge integration, which is mechanism to integrate new knowledge with existing knowledge. Let's talking about methodologies for lifelong learning. First one, continual learning. Continual learning involves updating models as a new data becoming available. This approach includes several techniques, such as elastic weight consolidation, which is protects important weight from being altered when learning new tasks. And progressive neural networks uses additional neural networks layers for a new task while preserving old tasks. And it's like a pawn in the networking when we're talking about the buffers, when we're talking about thousands of data transfer. So we need this technique. And replay methods, which is maintains a memory of past experiences to prevent forgetting. About the transfer learning. Transfer learning involves leveraging knowledge gained from one task to improve performance on a different but related task, which is these techniques will include domain adaptation and multitask learning. What is the difference between domain adaptation and multitask learning? Domain adaptation, adapting models trained on one domain to perform well in another. But multitask learning, it's training models on multiple related tasks simultaneously. About meta-learning, or we call it learning to learn, focuses on designing models that can adapt their learning strategies based on past experiences, which have many keys, like model agnostic meta-learning, which aims to to find a model initializing that can be quickly adapting to new tasks, and learning to optimize, which is developing algorithms that can improve their own optimization strategies. About knowledge distillation, that involves transferring knowledge from a large, complex model to a smaller, more efficient model. This process helps in maintaining knowledge while reducing model complexity, especially when we're talking about, we call it in a programmer, or as a programmer, we call it a cleaning code. For example, code, it's simple code and simple lines and have a pool of data. What is the challenges in lifelong learning? First one, catastrophic forgetting. Catastrophic forgetting occurred when a model forgets previously learned information when it trained to or on a new data. Addressing this challenge required innovative approaches to balance all undue knowledge. About scalability, refers to the ability of lifelong learning system to handle increasing amount of data and tasks without significant performance degradation. About data management, managing diverse and possibility conflicting data sources over time presenting significant challenges. Effective data management strategies are needed for successful lifelong learning. Computational resources, lifelong learning systems often require a substantial computational resources for strong and processing data, which can be a limitation for practical applications. About the future applications. First one, improved algorithms. Future research should focus on developing algorithms and catastrophic, forgetting, and improve scalability, for example, and optimize computational resources. Real-world application, exploring new real-world applications for lifelong learning, such as in healthcare and personalized education, can derive further advancement in the field. Theoretical foundations, establishing robust theoretical foundations for lifelong learning will help in understanding its limit and potential. And for ethical consideration, addressing ethical issues related to data privacy, bias, and the impact of AI systems on society will be crucial for the responsible development of lifelong learning system. And finally, the conclusion, lifelong learning represents a significant shift from traditional AI paradigm offering the potential for more adaptive, flexible, and intelligent systems. This presentation has reviewed the foundational concepts of lifelong learning, exploring current methodologies, identify key challenges, and propose future research directions. As AI continues to advance, the integration of lifelong learning principles will be essential for developing systems that can efficiently navigate and adapt to the complexity of real-world environments. That's all, and thank you.